We're such losers. Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Does Metal Have Soul podcast. I am one of your hosts, Mr. Levi Clay, here to talk about power metal with my beautiful looking assistant, Miss Melisa Kelly. How's it going?
I'm good. You call me beautiful. That's so nice. Yes, I'm good. I'm very I'm full of piss and vinegar. Yes, I've been enjoying practicing piano, and I've been doing some other giggy things and other editing jobs. So yes, we've had a break, but I feel refreshed by it because I'm not going to lie, Steel Panther nearly pushed me over the edge. How are you?
I'm good. I've been up to stuff. Would you like to see what I've been up to?
Sure.
Everyone here gets to see what I've been up to too.
Ooh.
If you're looking to take your guitar practice to the next level, then check out guidedpracticeroutines.com. We have over 100 hours of full instructional videos and practice routines, so we can practice together and progress faster. Now these all come with full sound slice integration and Guitar Pro downloads. You'll also have access to my entire YouTube archive of transcriptions. So check out the link in the description and be the first to know when we go live.
Fancy.
Absolutely busting my ass to make this happen. So if anybody out there is watching this and wants to take your music practice to the next level, guidedpracticeroutines.com is the place to do that.
Ooh.
Or will be the place to do that. And people, I think people see that and they assume there's a typo in there. They're like, surely, Levi, you didn't mean 100 hours of video. Oh, no. That's not a typo. 100 hours of video.
Yeah. I think your abusive relationship with work is admirable. It would kill me. I could do it, but I wouldn't be able to do literally anything else. I would be burnout mess. Yeah. So yeah, watching you do it has been both an inspiring and a disgusting display.
Yeah, I enjoyed. Joe sent me that meme last night of musicians who got into music because they didn't want to work a 9-to-5. Cameras just decided at once.
The camera's like, ooh.
Oh, look at that fat bastard.
No!
I didn't want to work a 9-to-5, so guess what? Now I work a 24/7.
Listen, that's absolutely correct. Like, I genuinely don't think there's been any point of my music career. Granted, I don't do what you do, and I think what you do is quite a bit more difficult, but there's been no part of my career where I haven't been on the clock all day round. All day round. No.
So today we are going to be listening to power metal, a genre that I was particularly fond of in my teens, 20s. Still really enjoy a bit of power metal. I'm hoping Melissa's going to enjoy it. If she doesn't, I might have to go and kill myself. But it makes sense when you think about it. We've gone from doing hair metal, which is toxically masculine music, where it's like da 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 da, having sex with all the girls, da 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 da. Whereas power metal, there's my song for the episode for you. Whereas power metal,
having sex with girls. You forgot. I'm not going to get into it again.
Whereas, no, I won't say it. Whereas power metal is toxically masculine too, but it's more like da 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 da. Real men kill dragons. Da 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 da. Gotta save the maidens. Da 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 da.
Maidens. Yeah, oh, Susan.
Yeah.
So. Listen, I think I've had a little taste of power metal on the channel. Mm-hmm. We did Sabaton.
Oh, okay.
Not long ago. I found it entertaining. I don't think it was anything that I would listen to on the reg, but I was like, okay.
We don't have any shite like Sabaton to listen to today. Don't worry. But before we get there, Metalhead Musings?
Oh yeah. I have missed the Metalhead Musings. Yeah, I think Steel Panther really did burn my brain out, and I'm so glad we took that break because I think part of me was like, oh, I can't do this anymore. I can't listen to pish for a minute longer.
It was an interesting one for me because I think it's like when your parents catch you smoking, when your dad catches you smoking when you're 10, so he makes you smoke 3 packs of fags to put you off it. Now, to be clear, I've never smoked a cigarette, but you know the cliche. Yeah. The overexposure.
Sure.
That was just enough Steel Panther that I don't ever want to have to hear them again.
That wasn't 3 packs of cigarettes. You know that part in The Simpsons I'm kind of in where Homer walks in and Bart's just whole room is filled with cigarettes? It was that. It was that. Okay, so commenting on the second part of the Steel Panther podcast is, I don't know if you want to call it Realder or Realder. I'm going to go with Realder. who comments often, and I do so enjoy their comments. I'm imagining Melisa being Melisa, doing reactions, and Levi is the comment section. Good job on both of yous. Gold star to Levi for being a reasonably tempered comment section. That is 100% what Steel Panther podcast was. Yeah. It was me watching and being like, what the fuck is this? And then the comment section being like, and another thing. Moving on swiftly.
Yep.
Steel is Real.
Yep.
On the first podcast of Steel Panther.
Yes.
My biggest problem with Steel Panther is if their lyrics were sensible, they would be the best hair metal band around, and that's really frustrating. Instead, they're fine for a few tracks, and then it's just the same jokes that get boring fairly quickly. I can come back to them after a while and listen to a few more, but then it's rinse and repeat. And I can't agree with this more.
But you can't trust Steel is Real, and I'll tell you for why. So Steel is Real has bluegrass lessons with me.
Okay.
And you know Steel is Real. He comes to the house for lessons.
He's lovely.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm not going to say his name.
That's his name. So comes to the house for lessons and has bluegrass lessons, and we've been working on bluegrass, and this is what he wants to do.
Yes.
Because he likes that style. It was something that he brought up. But then he had the realization in our last lesson of, I don't actually like bluegrass music. He's like, I like it when guitar players play like solo on their own, but as soon as you add the other instruments in there, the fiddle and the mandolin, no, I don't like any of that stuff. I'm like, oh, it sounds like you don't like bluegrass.
I was about to say, that's just what bluegrass. Yeah. I really enjoy jazz, but see all that brass, take all of that out. Yeah. I don't like any of that.
But anything that encourages you to practice. So he's
sure.
having fun. He just wants to play bluegrass guitar on his own. He doesn't want to deal with rednecks.
Okay, fair enough, but I still agree with his opinion on Steel Panther.
Sure.
Okay, this one's very exciting.
Yes.
On my Cradle of Filth video of their recent release.
Yes.
Zoe Marie Fedorov. Now, I don't know if you watched the no.
Can't think of anything I watch less.
Fair. But I talked about how the woman playing the keyboards was a goddess.
Yes.
And I wanted her to be at the front. Apparently, I got a comment from the keyboardist from Cradle of Filth.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes. Oh, hi, keyboardist / female vocalist here. Thanks for the kind words. You're a babe yourself. Happened to come across this and I'm quite flattered. Cheers.
That's nice.
Will you marry me?
Did you respond to her?
No, because I was trying to figure out if it was something noising me up. I didn't want to go back and be like, I love you, can I braid your hair? And then someone's like, Melisa, this is not actually her.
Well, have you confirmed that it is them from the
Yeah,
channel?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Well, then you should get back to them then, shouldn't you, you walloper?
I know, but it's also I'm always waiting for someone to be like so I but still.
But this is how opportunities happen.
What opportunity is that going to cause?
You getting guest listed for the next Cradle of Filth gig so you can go down and say hello to her and get a picture.
Oh. Okay.
Fuck you know.
Well, it's only just recent. It's
Sure.
not just everybody
Sure.
calm down. Everybody calm down. But I was very like, that happened on Tesseract as well. The lead singer of Tesseract came onto my comments and was just put a love heart. And I was like, ooh. Okay, last but by no means least, Rolf Meyer on the Sabaton video said, "You are a Scot. After the king and the pope destroy the Templar order, many go to Scotland. In the Battle of Bannockburn," I think they want to say Bannockburn or Brannaburg, I don't know. The White Knights are Templars. And then an eye rolling emoji. "I need you to understand. There is nobody in the whole wide world that is more obsessed with Scottish history than everyone else apart from Scottish people, right?" I've got Americans in my comments constantly being like, Wian, this reminds me of that war that took place in the 70s. I'm like, bitch, I don't know. Bitch, I don't know. You know what happened in my Scottish history class? They put on Braveheart and we all fucked around and did nothing.
Drank alcohol.
Well, probably. We probably drank White Lightning behind the skip at the back of the school. All I'm saying is, don't just assume I know Scottish history. I might not. Or I might have been taught it and forgot it because no one fucking cares.
Yeah. Okay, let's do the podcast. So we started to have this conversation in the house, but I think we should. I said, nope, stop talking, which is one of my favourite things to do with Mel. We'll just be mid-conversation. I'll just look at it and say, stop talking.
You would think that the Lord would have blessed me with a partner that wants to hear me talk.
I do. I just want it to be on camera. Anyway, so yeah, we started having this conversation in the house, and I was interested to know what Mel's predictions on power metal are going to be. So how do you predict that this is going to go?
I predict that there's going to be some things that I really love because, as everyone knows from watching the channel, I love pageantry, I love costumes, I love storytelling, I love, campery. But I also think that some of it will be done from a very testosterone-driven place, which means I might not enjoy it because, like, you mentioned the song Transylvania that Iron Maiden did, and I very viscerally remember being really disappointed.
Yeah, but that's because that's Iron Maiden.
Well, come see, come sa. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be a mixed bag.
Okay. Well, I've curated a playlist for us, and to set the rules for this, I have tried to essentially remove anything progressive from here. So anything prog is not here.
Okay.
Because I would have loved to have put Symphony X on here, because as you know, Mel will tell you, they're my favourite metal band. And I have also tried to not put power metal bands in here who were the big influences of power metal, rather than necessarily being power metal themselves, even if they dabbled in the power metal sound. But you'll see what I mean as we talk.
Okay.
So we've got a mix of bands from Germany is a big one for power metal. A lot of power metal comes from Germany. Okay. We've got some American power metal. We've got some Scandinavian power metal. We've got some Brazilian power metal as well.
Brazilian?
With our friend Kiko.
Ah!
So anyway, let me tell you a little bit. Let me tell you a story about power metal. So power metal is a subgenre of heavy metal, combining characteristics of traditional heavy metal with speed metal, often with symphonic context. Generally, power metal is characterized by a faster, lighter, and more uplifting sound, in contrast with the heaviness and dissonance prevalent in, for example, extreme metal. Go on, say it.
Sorry to interject.
Say
I've just realised something.
Go on.
Is Nightwish power metal?
They fall more into the kind of symphonic power metal thing. It's like definitely a sub of it, but we're not listening to any.
Okay,
any
good.
Of that.
And no shade, no tea. Good.
I also kind of went out my way to deliberately look for bands who I think have great vocalists.
Okay, which Nightwish has.
Yeah. Because we can talk more about, well, you can certainly talk more about vocalists than you can guitar and the like.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So power metal bands usually have anthemic songs with fantasy-based subject matter and strong choruses, thus creating a theatrical, dramatic, and emotionally powerful sound. Now, yes, I figured that you would ultimately really like power metal because, and I remember talking about this to you when shortly after we started dating. I remember listening to some Symphony X in the car and like kind of talking about the lyrical themes. You write very serious music.
Yeah.
You write a lot of, when you do your spooky stuff, it's still based in historical accuracy. You like, Scottish witch trials and things like that.
Yeah, I care about Scottish witchcraft. Like from the 1800s, that's the only history. I've just contradicted myself.
Yeah. And you do the soul music, and so you do a lot of songs about love, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you also really like Lord of the Rings.
I fucking love Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. You really enjoyed Game of Thrones.
I did enjoy Game of Thrones.
You absolutely live for Terry Pratchett.
I love Terry Pratchett so much. I love Terry Pratchett. Errol recently found a place where you can listen to all of the old audiobooks of Discworld, all the Discworld novels for free.
So what I'm getting at here is...
It's public domain stuff like that.
When it comes to stories and worlds that you like to put yourself in, you're actually really into the fantasy type stuff.
Yeah.
But just, you haven't been musically.
I wouldn't say that's so. I think my love of sort of fantasy style storytelling and music tends to be more the creepy vaudeville end of music. So it's, the Dresden Dolls and shit like that, which is it's more spooky, it's more modern style of fantasy.
Okay. The term power metal was first used in the mid-1980s, refers to two different but related styles. The first largely practiced in North America with a harder sound similar to speed metal, and later a more widespread and popular style based in Europe with a lighter, more melodic sound and frequent use of keyboards. So I steer more into the European type thing. Stylistic origins. So anthropologist Sam Dunn traced the origins of power metal back to the late 1970s when the groundwork for power metal lyrical style was laid down by Ronnie James Dio. The fantasy-orientated lyrics he wrote for Rainbow concentrated around medieval, Renaissance, folk and science fiction themes directly influenced modern power metal bands. So you like Ronnie Deere? Ronnie Deere?
Yes, he's top 2. He fights for space with Rob Halford.
He's about to come up. According to Dunn, the songs Stargazer and A Light in the Black from the 1976 album Rising, as well as Kill the King and Lady of the Lake from the 1978 album Long Live Rock and Roll, might be among the earliest examples of power metal.
Okay.
So we like Rainbow.
Yeah.
Cool.
We don't like What's His Face's band with his wife.
No, we don't.
That's not kind of history I'm looking to listen to in music.
In 2011 documentary series Metal Evolution, Dunn further explained how Rob Halford of Judas Priest created a blueprint for power metal vocal delivery. His almost constant high-pitched singing became one of the main characteristics of power metal. The twin guitar sound promoted by Judas Priest's duo of KK Downing and Glenn Tipton also highly influenced the subgenre. Another British band, Iron Maiden, brought epic and melodic sensibility to metal, creating anthemic sing-along music with an approach widely embraced by modern power metal musicians. Referred to as the main prototype of the power metal genre, Iron Maiden was heavily influenced by Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules, which is the first 2 albums of Black Sabbath with Dio in the band.
Okay.
Which would go on to influence power metal. Then we have the emergence of early German power metal scene, which came possible sources such as the Scorpions, who we've listened to, and Accept. Swedish guitarist Yngwie Malmsteen made a significant impact on many future power metal guitarists with his accurate and fast neoclassical style. His bandmate Jens Johansson modernised the keyboard sound of Deep Purple's John Lord, which was further incorporated into the genre. Manowar's mythological sword and sorcery lyrics influenced a number of power metal bands. So I haven't got a Manowar track for us to listen to, but I do just want you to see Manowar.
Okay. Listen.
You here for this?
If divas want to do what divas want to do, I'm not homophobic. You go right ahead, diva. That is some gay bullshit right there, but I love it.
Yeah, I thought you'd
love
that. I really did think you'd love that.
Well done, everyone. No notes.
Throughout the early 80s, especially during 82 and 83, the US power metal style first emerged from traditional heavy metal, the new wave of British heavy metal.
No album.
There we go. And thrash and speed metal backgrounds. Although the genre's precise stylistic origins are often contested, acts such as Seraph Ungol, Jagdpanzer, Manila Road, Omen, Riot, Savatage, and Warlord are generally believed to have influenced the earliest development of the style. More concretely, in 1987, a German band, Helloween, released their second album, Keeper of the Seven Keys, Part 1, cited by AllMusic as a landmark recording that remains arguably the single most influential power metal album to date. Its volatile combination of power and melody would inspire an entire generation of metal bands. This release influenced European power metal style to evolve, which proliferated through the globe, and since the start of the 90s, is still the most commonly heard style of power metal. So, we're going to listen to Helloween. We'll jump on. We'll do Helloween.
Okay. I've never heard Helloween before.
Yeah, you have.
No, I haven't.
Oh, Mrs. Doubtfire heard Helloween. Yeah, okay, fair.
I saw.
Can you remember what it was you listened to?
It was Halloween by Helloween.
Okay, fine.
And I did enjoy it, but people gave me shit in the comments because it was like a radio edit.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell people other than if I had a video with a fucking 12-minute song, it would be probably not watched.
Yeah,
or recommended.
Stuff like that is a real shame. So we do have a track that we're going to listen to today. We won't listen to the whole thing, but it's 14 minutes long. And I picked it because it's the best example of the vocalist.
Right.
So I was always looking for like the great example of the vocalist.
Sure.
As you know, I love a long, much like Tolkien, loved a long story. For me, when it comes to power metal, long story. You just listen to a long story, right? You're being taken on a journey.
I don't know. I'm footery. It's a good Scottish word. I'm very footery about it.
So we're going to be listening to Power, which is taken from the 1996 Helloween album Time of the Oath. Can you remember anything about Helloween?
I remember that I think the vocals were very good.
Yes.
I also remember that they had harmonising guitars.
Yes.
That I enjoyed. And I just remember that the overall vibe was pretty good. They had some sexy women in their video, but they were very respectful about the fact that there were sexy women in their video.
Okay.
And that's about it.
So we're going to be listening to A Tale That Wasn't Right from Keeper of the Seven Keys. Kind of makes sense to check out one of the tracks from the album that the fans consider to be the kind of proto-power metal thing. Mm-hmm. And this is Michael Kiske on vocals.
Michael Kiske.
I think I'm going to butcher all of these names, especially when it comes to the Europeans, right?
We do apologise in advance.
Yeah.
I don't apologise for the English, but I apologise for Scottish.
Here we go.
Love it, love everything about it. Stick it directly in my eyeballs and my earballs at all times.
I'm just going to quickly blow through some of Power, which is a track from The Time of the Oath, which is Andy Darris on vocals.
The Time of the Oath?
Yeah.
Love it, love everything about it. Just no notes.
It's like big, powerful, anthemic.
Do you know what it is? It's several combinations of like... So the vocals are good, although I would say... Okay, the first one you played me was better than that one.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it. It was atmospheric.
Yes.
There's a word that we don't get to use very often.
Yeah.
It was atmospheric, but it felt atmospheric. And I loved his voice in the second one more, because in the first one, even though it was more expressive, it was like his vibrato was wide as the dickens. Yeah. And you know I love a wide vibrato. And the first one, his vibrato felt very thin when it was going wider.
Yeah, and this is the sad nature of the podcast. And if we make it to season 2, maybe we'll dig deeper into some of the bands that you've enjoyed.
Sure.
How much can you really learn about a band when you listen into part of a song? You know, like I'd love to do more atmospheric stuff because it is important, but then power metal has to also be about the power part of it.
Do you want to know also a mental trick that I do with myself?
Go on.
And it is a good trick because it tells me everything I need to know. In my brain, when the song's playing, I imagine that song being in the real sequel of Rocky Horror Picture Show. And I say to myself, if this song were in the next Rocky Horror Picture Show, how would I feel? And in the answer of those two was, I would be living for my life and be like, oh my goodness, good gracious.
Okay, we're going to move on from Helloween and going to go for the power metal band that many people consider to be the greatest power metal band.
Oh.
Blind Guardian. I was never a big Blind Guardian fan. But
Blind Guardian?
Yeah. Blind Guardian are a German power metal band formed in 1984 in Krefeld, Germany, or West Germany. They're often credited as one of the seminal, most influential bands in the power metal and speed metal subgenres. 9 musicians have been part of the band's lineup throughout its history. Currently includes singer Hansi Kusch.
Hansi.
Yeah. And it's all about... So if you look up best power metal vocals, he usually tops the charts.
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to... Yeah, throughout their discography, Blind Guardians established themselves as a notable and successful band, pioneers of the power metal movement. In 96, Kusch ceased to act as the band's bassist to focus on vocals, with various session musicians filling in. They're an interesting band. They're a cool band. This is the 14-minute track. So it's atmospheric, but he's just... So Hansi Kusch, it wasn't really the track that I wanted to pick. He's been with a band called Demons and Wizards as well.
Great name.
Yes. Which is like a duo project with John Schaefer of Iced Earth, who we will be checking out. But it felt like we needed to have him in the context of the band that he's known for. You know?
Okay.
So let's see what you think. This is And There Was Silence from Memories of a Time to Come.
Okay. I wasn't as mad on that one.
Sure.
I think the vocals were good. All the elements were good, apart from the fucking MIDI sound coming from the keys, and then those electronic strings where it made me want to punch my own face off. But I think, do you know what it is, maybe? And I need to go back and listen to Helloween to know for sure.
Yes.
The vocals on that felt more classically influenced.
Right.
La 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 la, like the
From a place of
yeah.
power.
Also, the movements in the intervals of the melody felt very classically influenced, and I find that less enjoyable to listen to because I don't find it melodic weirdly. But also, there was a lot of moving parts in that song. A lot of moving parts. Just when you thought you were getting settled into finding what was going on, it moved on to the next section, and I was like, "But
and you got about a quarter of the way through it.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe you're going to revisit some of the themes from earlier in the song.
But I'd forgotten them because there was about 14 different themes. But they get extra points for be careful. Watch your step, Cassandra. Because that just sounds... Cassandra sounds like the name you would cast up to be like... Just saying.
Okay. Moving on, we're going to check out the band Rhapsody. They've gone through a few different names. They're currently known as Rhapsody of Fire. There's been drama around them from what I understand. Okay. Different members claiming ownership and legal change of the name, and So Rhapsody of Fire, formerly known as Rhapsody, an Italian symphonic power metal band formed by Luca Turilli and Alex Staropoli, widely seen as a pioneer of the symphonic power metal subgenre. We are going to be checking out the tune Emerald Sword from Symphony of Enchanted Lands, which was their second album way back in 1998, and it has exactly what you would expect us to cover.
These album covers
Yeah.
are on the black t-shirts of certain people that I see, and when they're not wearing those t-shirts, they're wearing t-shirts that have got a Native American person with a wolf and a moon.
Okay. So
That's not a judgment, FYI.
Fabio Leone is going to be the vocalist on this. He has been a member of Angra, who we'll be checking out, Spirits of Fire, Athena, his own Fabio Leone's Dawn of Victory, previously in Rhapsody of Fire, Turi Leone, Rhapsody, Vision, Divine, Labyrinth, and Hollow Haze. So sang with a lot of bands. Go on.
I thought that was Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah, he does have that look about him. Doesn't sing like Weird Al, though.
You know I'm fat, you know it.
Okay, so Emerald Sword
Sure.
from Rhapsody from Symphony of Enchanted Land. Sounds like this. We'll stop during the classical interlude.
I mean, the strings sounded beautiful there. I think the vocalist sounds fantastic. I'm not wild about the speed of it.
Yeah.
I find that a bit manic and also a bit exhausting.
Absolutely.
And I think lyrically, I enjoy the fantasy or the science fiction style lyrics of being like a greedy wee goblin in a cave rather than the King Arthur. We go to war for the king, for our maiden at home. Like, I'm just like, But you could be dragons. You could be a witch in a
they've got to
swamp.
they've got to go and kill the dragon for the glory of the kingdom and to keep the people safe.
No, do it. Go find like a big monster that you need to battle because you're a swamp witch.
I also enjoyed during that how you were telling me that Lord of the Rings is a tale of communism, right?
The Shire's communism. I'm not getting into it. There's a lot of political themes within that film. And if we'd all just watched Lord of the Rings and read the book, we wouldn't be in the state we're in now.
Okay, fine. Just whilst we're at it, Giant Finger.
Who was it that made the comment?
Millicent Oak, I believe.
Millicent Oak.
So
when I call Levi a great big pumpkin head, like, come over to my camera. Like, you're getting currently, when we're separated, we look like we're the same size of human.
Yeah, we create the camera angles. I'm actually 3 feet away from the camera. I'm sat 3 feet behind Mel. So that was Rhapsody. We're going to move on now and talk about a band called Sonata Arctica.
I thought you said Sinatra there.
Sinatra's Arctica. Sonata Arctica.
Swing metal.
I like Sonata Arctica as a name, and I enjoyed some of their music when I was younger. We're going to be checking out a track from their first album, Ecliptica, I believe. Is that their first album? Yeah, from 1999. We're going to check out the song Full Moon. Let me tell you a little bit about the band, though. So, Sonata Arctica is a Finnish power metal band from the town of Kemi, Finland, created as a hard rock band named Tricky Beans.
Tricky Beans is a fantastic name.
They later changed to Tricky Beans.
No!
And finally to Sonata Arctica.
Boo!
When they shifted to power metal. You can't have a power metal band called Tricky Beans.
I would listen to the shit out of that.
Yeah, as of 2024, the band has released 11 full-length albums. I have a couple of their records and a live DVD that they put out. I quite enjoyed the guitar work of Yanni Limatanian, I believe. Yanni Limatanian.
It's almost certainly wrong, but you know.
Almost certainly wrong, yeah.
Sure.
But the vocalist is Tony Kakko. Tony Kakko. He's 50 now. He's played in a few bands, but yeah, he has been consistently the vocalist for Sonata Arctica.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's check out, as I say, Full Moon from Ecliptica from back in 1999. Sounds like this.
Yeah, I like the speed of that one better than the last one because that one was like galloping.
Yeah, it's less intense on the kick drums.
Yeah. I really like the vocals in that. I like the melody in that. That's what I mean when I'm talking about what power metal is definitely, which power metal I'm going to enjoy and which I'm not. The ones where the melody of the vocalist has been heavily influenced by classical music, I'm probably not going to enjoy it as much as the ones that are clearly still influenced by that, but have just more scope, more fragility, more,
Yeah, I always think
human.
it's a shame. So I think he's got a great voice.
Yeah.
I just always think it's such a shame when you hear somebody who has such a great voice singing in what you can only assume isn't their native tongue.
Yes, but I did enjoy his accent.
Yeah.
I thought it was endearing. It was human. I think sometimes that's what's wrong with metal, with me and metal crunchy crunch, is when metal tries to take all of the fragility of human out of the music, because the music's got to be really impressive, and this guitar's got to be amazing, and these drums have got to be fast and technical, and blah 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 blah. And it's like, well, yes, all of that stuff's amazing, but when you take away the part of it that creates connection, then it's like, what the fuck is the point? So I really enjoy hearing his accent and the way he would pronounce his vowels, even though it's a shame when you know he's definitely singing it not in his native
Yeah, and when that's essentially been a commercial decision that you've had to make as a band.
Yeah, it is a shame
For things to be viable.
Yeah.
But still, I think they're a cool band. So, all right, we're going to move on and check out the band Angra, jumping over to Brazil.
But I really liked the snapshot of Sepultura. I'm looking forward to doing Sepultura on the channel because I'm like, ugh.
So Angra is a Brazilian power metal band, progressive metal band formed in 1991. They've released 10 regular studio albums, 6 EPs, 7 live CDs and DVDs to date. Led by Rafael Bittencourt, the band has gained a degree of popularity in Japan and Europe. On 2nd of April 2015, guitarist Kiko Loureiro left Angra to join American thrash metal band Megadeth.
Ah, Kiko.
Yeah, great guy. I've done a lot of work with Kiko. Fucking fabulous guitar player.
Sure.
Kiko was actually the first time I ever heard anything resembling fusion music.
Oh.
Because I went to London and for a thing, and while I was there, he was doing a masterclass at the Institute, and I got a ticket for it, and he played some of his songs from No Gravity, and then he played some of his songs from his upcoming record at the time, Universo Inverso, which was the first record sounded like Satriani on steroids, and I'm super here for that. It was really powerful and melodic stuff. But then the Universo Inverso was just like he took all of his Brazilian heritage and just put it in there. And at the time, I didn't really understand or really like it that much because it was so challenging on my kind of expectations of music.
Yeah.
And I've transcribed that album for him now. He's phenomenal, like such a great guitar player. But Angra is a different thing. It's a band. So we're going to be checking out the song Carry On from Angel's Cry, which is the first Angra record, I believe.
Carry on my way. No,
that's the one. That's the song. No, sorry, it's their second album, Angel's Cry, and it's Andre Matos on vocals.
Okay.
So Andre Matos, I'm just seeing who else he has sung with. He has been with Viper, Angra, Shaman, and Symphonia. So, Brazilian singer. And as I say, this is Carry On from Angel's Cry back in 1993. Sounds like this.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that probably power metal, we would struggle to find a power metal band whose lead vocalist is not top tier. Which is
an important part of the style.
Yeah, which is great.
In the same way you don't find a punk band with an incredible singer.
I really enjoy that. I think he was great. There were some parts of that where it was crazy high. Yeah. He was crazy high, and then he had done a harmony over the top of that, which is like fucking hell. I find the drumming really exhausting.
Yeah, sure.
It's like somebody putting up shelves next door, and I can't. I enjoyed that one less.
Okay.
And I think it was the speed in the drums that are really pissing on my chips.
Yeah, but would it be fair to say that Rhapsody, Emerald Sword, was probably more on the drum front? Because that was kick drums all the way through.
Yeah.
Whereas that one was just fast.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Well, we are going to move on and talk about iSturf now. Now, for me, when it comes to power metal vocalists, some people are going to tell you got to go to Blind Guardian for your best vocalist. But for me, I think, well, actually, I have another band I'm going to show you with a kind of outside vocalist. But I think one of the most impressive vocalists in the power metal genre is Matt Barlow. Now, Matt Barlow had a long stint in the band Iced Earth.
Okay.
Iced Earth are an interesting band. They currently only have one member. Everybody left.
So you don't have a band anymore?
Yeah. So it's just John Schaefer now, again. Everybody left when John Schaefer got put in prison for being part of the Capitol riots.
Oh.
He's one of those.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Deary dear.
Yeah.
What's that? The consequences of your actions?
Well, he's been pardoned, so...
oh, fucking hell.
Trump pardoned everybody that was... yeah. Anyway, Iced Earth is an American heavy metal band currently composed of only John Schaefer. Formed in Tampa, Florida, and based in Columbus, Indiana. They were formed in 1984 under the name The Rose and then Purgatory by guitarist, main songwriter, and band leader John Schaefer, original drummer Greg Seymour. So we're going to listen to a Matt Barlow track with Iced Earth. Now, I want the camera to see you on this one, and you may even do like a zoom in on your face. We're going to be listening to a Matt Barlow track, and it's called Dracula.
Okay.
And the song is all about Dracula. And it comes from the album Horror Show,
Yes.
where all of the songs were about horror icons.
Okay.
Obviously, Iced Earth we said they're from Tampa, Florida. So this is the first band that we've listened to on this that hasn't been European. Well, no, sorry, we had Angra. Non-American. Yeah.
Sure.
Every band we've listened to has been Helloween German, Blind Guardian German, Rhapsody Italian, Sonata Arctica Finnish, and Angra Brazilian. So now we're going into the American thing. Now, of course, the American thing steers a little bit more into the thrashier side of things. So we're going to listen to Dracula from Iced Earth Horror Show. And I've got the lyrics for Mel because I know this is very much like Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula.
Okay. But here's what I'm going to say.
Go on.
Little fingers. I think sometimes people set things up for me, being like, "Oh,
girl,
girl.
I don't care if you hate this band."
Yeah, just because I know sometimes people are like, Melissa,
Yeah.
this song is about Frankenstein and Mary Shelley, and in it, Mary Shelley is a feminist superhero who saves little babies and puppies.
But who knows? Maybe you'll really enjoy
And
it.
then I'm like, this fucking dog shit.
Can you read those lyrics?
Yes.
Okay. So, Dracula, here we go. I'll stop there.
Matt Barlow's voice is astonishing.
Top tier, yeah.
Like really great tone and everything, and like this like is like really cool. Everything else is dung heap. Everything else, bin rotage.
Tell me why.
Bin. I don't like. I think it's too on the nose. And I think the rehashing of The Blood is Alive is annoying me. And I don't think it's the right melodic harmonic choices. And I think one of two things you've got to do with the Dracula, especially I nearly said Gary Barlow. What's his name?
Matt Barlow is in fact not Gary Barlow's cousin.
No. Gary
Oldman.
Gary Oldman.
Yeah. Just think old man.
Yeah. And his portrayal of Dracula is so more... Again, it's such a more fragile portrayal of Dracula. Bela Lugosi was very much doing a masculine, dominant, infected version of Dracula, whereas Gary Oldman's version of it is very broken and... Pained, but also fragile and delicate and grief-stricken, and I don't know, I just don't like the choices of melody and harmony. And also it made me laugh because I was thinking about it and going, have I actually listened to music where they've done a portrayal of Dracula where I've like, I fuck with this? And the truth of the matter is Mike Patton is the only one.
Oh yeah.
Mike Patton doing the Tango Saloon, and they have a whole album called Transylvania. I'll put a picture on thingy. Now it is silly.
Yes, it is silly.
But it's the silliness of like Vincent Price.
Yes.
And that's I think for me that's it. I either want you doing campery or actually really thinking about it, and for me it doesn't really hit.
So I might have done you a disservice to introduce you to the great Matt Barlow there by
He's
putting on
great.
something that you care so deeply about, rather than just kind of generic track.
Sure.
Because you've got into the songwriting side of things there, which you
Yeah.
didn't do so much with any of the others.
No.
But I think it gives you an insight into what iSturf sound like.
Sure.
But we're about to listen to more iSturf because they have had they've had a lot of great singers. But the Matt Barlow is the topper for me. But they also had Tim Ripper Owens singing for them. Now, Tim...
I know that name.
Sang for Judas Priest after Helloween.
Ah!
So he's also an incredibly great singer. There is one track from this album that features both Tim and Matt Barlow. And it felt like I should have picked that, but I couldn't pass up playing Dracula. Do you know?
Yeah, it's one of those things, like I say, sometimes people build things up to me and they go, Melissa, you're going to love this. It's all of your top tier things. And it's like...
Yeah, there wasn't no part of me that thought, you're going to love this.
Oh, okay.
There was, you like Dracula, so you'll be interested to hear this.
I was interested to hear it. I think that Gary Barlow, I think Matt Barlow is a fantastic vocalist.
So fucking good.
But the rest of it, I'm like, eh.
Yeah, he's one of those guys where you can just watch, like, insane live clips of him doing ridiculous vocal things, and people really enjoy those sorts of things. Anyway,
also, sorry to interject
for
for just a second. Someone put a comment on my channel recently, and I've replied to them, and I can't find it now. I don't know if they've deleted their comment, but on one of my videos they said, "I'm sorry, excuse me," like they were being really arsey with me. Are you saying that metal vocalists don't have a large range? And I'm like, there's literally hundreds of videos of me reacting to metal vocalists talking about how astonishing metal vocals are.
What's your point, caller?
Where
did that come from?
it just irritated me when we were listening to it, and I was listening to Matt Barlow being like, oh, he's so fantastic. And I think sometimes people comment on my channel being like, she doesn't appreciate the technical.
Yeah.
She never says that they're great. And I'm like, there's literally hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah, the sad thing for me with Matt Barlow is, like, most of his work is with iSturf. I'm not a big lover of iSturf, but I just fucking love Matt Barlow's vocals.
Really great.
I think he's got he's got that wailing banshee thing. It's grittier than the Rob Halford thing, you know. It's like a lot of raspy fry to it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is 10,000 Strong, also by iSturf from Framing Armageddon, and this features Tim Ripper Owens on vocals.
Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that. I think the vocals are just amazing. I like the galloping rhythm of the drums. I do like that. And yeah, overall a fun tune. Why not?
Yeah, and we kind of mentioned it whilst the music was playing, but I said, and people are going to rake me over the coals for this, I think Tim Owens is a perfect vocalist in that metal style. He's flawless at what he does. He's the prototypical power metal vocalist. There are so many people that seek to sound like him, and he is perfect. But he's not Matt Barlow, because lots of people try and sound like Tim. But when you hear Matt Barlow, you just immediately go, that's Matt Barlow. And I appreciate that in Matt's voice, so like that a lot. Anyway, you know how we all have like our own little guilty pleasures when it comes to a genre? Yeah. I'm going to go for a more unknown power metal band now.
Oh, okay.
So my favourite power metal band is a band called At Vance. Much smaller. At Vance.
Okay.
Yeah. Much smaller. Again, German band formed by vocalist Oliver Hartmann and guitarist Olaf Lenk, who was also in a band called Velvet Viper, which I quite like the name. Oliver Hartmann is a fabulous vocalist, and he's my favourite of the vocalists. Now, it may be because I was introduced to this album when I was young, and I listened to it a lot, and I have such appreciation for this. They're a fun band, actually, because I liked them for a couple of reasons. But for whatever, they covered a bunch of fucking ABBA songs on different albums. So they did like...
I've said it before and I'll say it again, no more fucking ABBA.
I don't know why.
What's going on?
I have no idea why, but I kind of dig it. I respect it.
I should be clear, I do think ABBA are fantastic and they've got some amazing songwriting skills pay the bills, but I work in a gay venue. If I never hear ABBA again, it'll be entirely too fucking soon.
Okay, so I'll tell you what, I will let you hear some of SOS, but for the reason, so you can sort of hear the, power metal-ified, you know?
Okay,
so
it's a choice.
This is some of SOS.
Fuck.
What?
It's fabulous.
You like that?
Fuck. God damn it! I've said it before, I'll say it again. No more fucking ABBA.
Unless it's power metal
Unless
ABBA.
it's power metal ABBA. That was fabulous.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
They've done more of them than that. They did Money as well. Money.
Did they do Gimme Gimme Gimme?
No.
That's the best ABBA tune.
Anyway, so Oliver Hartman, and it was nice to listen to a different track there and just immediately reinforced my thoughts on Oliver Hartman as a vocalist.
Sure.
I think that much like with guitar players, when because tablature helps a lot of guitar players learn, lots of guitar players get into this world where when they play guitar they learn from tablature, and the tablature is a thing there that tells them the notes that you have to play. And so playing the guitar is just, I just press this finger here to make this sound, and it's like a running through the motions of what playing is. And I think that sometimes I hear a similar approach in vocals. This is the melody that I have to sing. These are the notes that I have to sing. But when I listen to Oliver Hartman sing, it's like he's got that down. He puts no thought into that. That's just a thing that happens. So he can focus extensively on making sure everything that he sounds is an expression. So he's trying to convey something in the vocal. And it's not the same when you hear a lot of power metal vocalists just hit a high note, where it's like a showcase of the technical prowess. Oliver really feels like he's being very expressive with his voice. So
because human connection is really important.
Yeah. So we're going to listen to the song Only Human from the album Only Human. I would highly recommend anyone that wants my recommendation, just go and check out Only Human by Vance. Oliver Hartman kills it on vocals, and Olaf Lenk, guitar player, absolutely underrated monster of guitar. So this is Only Human.
Fabulous. Tremendous, outstanding, glorious. I really like his voice. It was really melodic. The pre-chorus was such a wonderful turnaround. It felt it felt initially when you went to it, it was like, oh no, it's a new section, what? But then when it played into the chorus, it was like, that makes complete sense. Yeah. Well done. I take issue with the lyric, ain't no mountain high enough, nothing is tall enough. That's the same sentence. Don't do that again. But I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I like that he throws in at the end the high note and then slides up the octave to the highest note, and it's like, you have the super range.
You just don't use it.
But you haven't used it throughout the song because you're so much more focused on eking out all the expression.
This is something vocals. I tell singers all the time. Having a great big range is fantastic, and it really helps if you've got the pipes to do lots of impressive things. But the most enjoyable singers to listen to are the ones who only occasionally use the whole range. When you've got singers who are constantly at the absolute top of their range all the time, it's so exhausting to listen to.
Yeah. Okay, so two more tracks to check out. We're going to check out the band Camelot, because you have to have a power metal band called Camelot.
Sure.
But, spelt like Camelot with a K. So Camelot is an American power metal band from Tampa, Florida, formed by Thomas Youngblood in 1987.
Thomas Youngblood, what a name.
Yeah, we're going to be checking out When the Lights Are Down from the Black Halo. So the Black Halo came out in 2005, so it's getting on a little bit more. And I'm just... this is it's a concept album, I believe. Yeah. It is a concept album inspired by Goethe's Faust, continuing the story introduced in Epica. It is the second and final record in Camelot's two-part rock opera about Ariel, a character based on Henrik Faust. Epica tells part one, while the Black Halo tells part two. I love shit like that. I love... Because, I love, as you do, musicals. And I can sit and listen to...
musicals.
I can sit and listen to a musical album without needing to see the show, because I just enjoyed having the story told to me.
Absolutely.
And so concept albums that tell stories like this, it's the same thing, but it's a rock or metal version of it. Super here for it. So we won't go into characters, but so it's Roy Khan on vocals. Seeing if he's a member of the band Conception and formerly of Camelot. So Roy Khan singing When the Lights Are Down from the Black Halo. Sounds like this.
Yeah, production-wise, it's probably the most tidy of all of the ones we've listened to.
I think it's the most recent of all the ones we listened to.
Okay. And you know, his voice is great. I think some of the choice of harmony is really cool. Can't be doing with the drums.
Yeah,
Can't be doing with the
like
drums.
the really relentless over the top.
I just can't. I can't. There was nothing actually really bad about that.
No, sure.
It was a bit okay.
Yeah. So I picked that track by Camelot, which is a much more recent track, because I wanted to introduce some of the more modern influences that kind of crept into, not a lot of, but some power metal stuff. So to me, I hear some electronic influences in there, right? Which you couldn't put influences like that in a Rhapsody record because it would sound super out of place. So that leads us on to our final band.
Okay.
So Ed Guy, strange name for a band.
Yes.
Ed Guy is a German power metal band. Again, Germans, they love their power metal. Formed in 1992. They're an interesting one. Their name initially named after their math teacher. The band faced early rejections from record labels, but persevered, releasing their unofficial debut album Savage Poetry in 1995. They gained wider recognition with their subsequent albums, including Kingdom of Madness and Vain Glory Opera, featuring guest appearances from notable musicians. Over the years, Ed Guy has evolved their sound, with Samet, one of their members, also launching the successful metal opera project Avantasia. The band has released multiple studio albums, including Age of the Joker and Space Police, Defenders of the Crown, and has engaged in extensive touring. As of 2020, Ed Guy is on hiatus, while Samet focuses on new Avantasia material. Now, I remember when they released their album Rocket Ride, and I bought this album purely based on the album artwork, because I was in a record store, it looked really fun.
Oh.
I was like, yep, this one's for me. I'll give this one a try. Because I was told it was power metal, right? But there was something almost circus-like about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the spacey theme was kind of cool.
Also, they've got like the same sort of like a sunset colouring as like Iron Maiden stuff.
Yeah. So, Rocket Ride is the seventh full-length album by Ed Guy, released on January 20th, 2006, features a style that differs from their usual power metal style, is more orientated towards hard rock. So yeah, I'm kind of cheating a little bit because this probably falls out of the power metal thing, but I couldn't resist, and I'll tell you for why. So I put this playlist together last night after you'd gone to sleep.
Yes.
I was just going through some stuff, looking for things that I thought you'd enjoy, and I came across Ed Guy, and I remembered this album, and I remembered this song, and I listened to it, and it has been stuck in my head since.
Oh.
Like, it's one of those where I listened to it before I went to sleep, so I dreamed this song.
Oh, I love it when that
on
happens.
repeat. So yeah, I woke up this morning still singing the melody to the chorus of this song. I think it's a real banger. So this is Superheroes by Ed Guy.
Okay.
From Rocket Ride. Sounds like this. Get the idea?
Yeah, that was fun. I don't know why they had that sort of like baritone guitar do 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 do.
It's super fun. Playful.
Yeah.
Almost like it's to me it's an indicator when you hear that. Let's set the tone. We don't take ourselves seriously here.
Sure, which is unusual because you don't enjoy stuff like that. Usually are irked by people who don't take themselves seriously. It's like, what do you think this is, a game? But that was fun. Like, it's catchy. That little is a nice little motif to have in there, because then the strings do it later and it sounds really pretty. That's a nice song.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I would prefer to put Only Human on again, but yeah, I just woke up. Da da da, boo doo doo doo. I'm just stuck. It can't get it out of my head.
I love when that happens.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not true. I don't like it when that happens with songs I don't like.
Yeah. So that is Tobias Sammet, the composer and vocalist on that. He's not too old, 47. And if you enjoyed his vocals on that, then maybe go and check out more Ed Guy or Avantasia. Both good bands, and he's an interesting one because I think it would be fair to say he's not particularly vocally over the top.
He went for a high part as well at one point. I'm like, oh, you're pushing.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm really trying to say there. Like, it sounded like he was straining.
Yeah,
it's like I found myself in a position where I have to sing in a band because I'm a creative person who maybe doesn't play many instruments, and I love writing songs, and this is the melody I want, so I just need to do it, because he's definitely a creative type. So And I know we love and respect creative types around here.
Absolutely, we do.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of power metal.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that power metal was fun. It was a breath of fresh air. In, frankly, a few weeks of doing this podcast where I wanted to fucking kick my own head off, I think Helloween are the best.
Okay.
But
I'll just throw my fucking...
No, but I would give special props to Vance because that song was great. And I really enjoyed it. And I would like to hear more of that song.
More of them doing ABBA.
Oh, actually, that was fantastic as well.
All right, we'll do it.
We'll do what? Oh, so good. God damn it. God damn it.
So no more ABBA unless Vance are doing it.
Especially the choice to be like da 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 ba 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 ba, and it's right, to have it in a key where he's having to go. It's just clever as shit.
Yeah, ballsy. Like it. I like them a lot.
Yeah, I like power metal. Power metal can stay.
Power metal can stay.
German power metal is top tier.
Yeah, German power metal is top tier. So unfortunately, I do have to stick to the promise though. It does have to be death metal next time.
Okay.
We've had fun this week.
Yeah.
So next week we have to come back and be miserable.
We don't necessarily have to be miserable. It might be fun.
I don't like death metal, so...
Yeah, but I might. I might have listened to death metal on the channel and really enjoyed it. I just don't fucking remember.
Okay. If you like the sounds of pigs being gutted, you'll have a great time.
Ew.
Anything you want to say to the people?
Thank you very much for continuing to watch, because I know that it's not exactly a huge amount of people that watch it, but the people who do watch it comment and have fun, and I really appreciate that. So thank you so much for continuing to do that.
It makes it worthwhile for us.
Yeah.
To keep doing it. So thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you've had a good time, and until next week,
suck a bag of Richards. Hooray!
Da 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 da, having sex with all the girls. Da 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 da. Whereas power metal, there's my song for the end of the episode for you. Whereas power metal.